Hey there, welcome back to our channel. This is Jill Smith, one half of the Smith Serves. We are a nonprofit development company. Our mission is simple. Our mission is to help you raise awareness for your mission so that you can attract the right people and generate more than enough income so that you can impact lives and shift communities. If you're listening to this video on YouTube, make sure that you click the link, whether it's in the bottom, it's also in the profile, to join our Founders of Nonprofit Facebook group. And if you are listening to this in the Facebook group, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. All right. Also, if you are thinking about starting a nonprofit, or if you have started a nonprofit and you're stuck in any way, in any type of way, make sure you download the free Start Your Nonprofit checklist, because more than likely something is off. You missed something, and so everything is fixable. Everything is figure outable. That's what I believe, and that's what I'm going to share with you. Let me see what else. Any other announcements? If I think of any other announcements, I will definitely put a pin in what I'm saying and let you know. This is an important topic because I think sometimes as visionaries, I'm a visionary too. My husband and I we're building a nonprofit as well, a private foundation. So in addition to being a nonprofit expert, we are also on both sides of this. But I think what happens is that a lot of visionaries, we think so big that it's hard for us to bring things down sometimes to the most minute areas where it's manageable and where our steps are strategic. The word of God says, do not despise the days of small beginnings. And that I believe those small beginnings are also the small things that we should not overlook. And so with that being said, there are a lot of resources and support right in your local vicinity that you must be taking advantage of so that your nonprofit can grow and impact. And so on this video, I'm going to take you through those 6 local entities that you need to be tapping into. And you need to be tapping into all of these. Also, there's a video that before you go out in public, before you go out and tap into local videos, there are some things that needs to be in place. And so make sure you watch that video as well. All right, so I'm going to take you through these 6 local videos, and I'm sorry, these 6 local entities. Did I say videos before? All right, these 6 local entities, and make sure you implement. Because you know what? I hear this, more than enough times. And let me just tell you this. A lot of times people say coaching does not work. And so a lot of people say therapy does not work, counseling doesn't work. What doesn't work? Anything will work if you will work it. Anything will work if you will work it. Sometimes it's about implementing. Sometimes people want things to work and they're putting no effort to it. So anything will work if you work it. So these work, but you got to do the work. All right. You got to do the work. You got to put the effort into it. All right. So the first local entity that you need to be tapping into is your local government. Your local government. Why? Because your local government has those grants in the area that you need. There are some local grants that are trickling down from the feds, that's going down through the state, that's going down through your county, that's going down through your city, that you need, and that is there for you. So many types of resources, business development resources from the SBA that is trickled down to the local level that will help you get things like office space and tap into different types of counseling and having different types of events. You need to be tapped in to your local government. And so in addition to that, your local agencies, if your services that you're providing need to establish partnerships with the local agencies, that's another reason why you need to be tapped into your local agency. Say, for instance, you have a reentry program, and say that one of the things that you help your reentries do is get their ID cards or their driver's license. And so you want to have a partnership with the local DMV that, at a certain time, your clients can go without interruption, without anything that's triggering their emotions. They're already probably mentally and emotionally tapped out from being in prison. And so you may want to establish some time where your clients can go to the DMV without hassle, and they can get their needs met and their services without any type of friction at one time. And that is a partnership that you can establish with the local government. But you need to tap into your local government. You need to know the agencies that will benefit and partner with your programs and services. And again, as I said, they're also the ones who have those local grants. The second entity is every community, or at least most communities, have what is called a community foundation, And this community foundation, what they do, a foundation, what it does, it's a nonprofit entity. I talk a lot about private foundations as well as public charities. So private foundations, what they do is they take grants and they grant to local charities. And so a community foundation, what it does is that it collects donations from individuals around the community, those who want to give, those donors who want to give, and that foundation then grants out money to local public charities. And so you want to definitely be in communication with your community foundation. So whenever grant opportunities come available, you're right there at the cusp. You're hearing what they are, as well as they give a lot of support. They grant writing and all that great stuff. And so you definitely need to be tapped into your community foundation. The third community local entity you need to be tapped into is your local chamber of commerce. Your local chamber. You gotta be tapped into your local chamber. It is vital. Why? Because your local chamber is the nonprofit that is set for the community, for businesses, and your nonprofit is indeed a business. And so one of the great things that the local chamber does is that it is the organization that when you open up your business, they're the ones who do the ribbon cutting ceremony and get the local officials out. So you definitely want to make sure that you are connected with the local officials, and you can meet your local officials by being affiliated with your Chamber of Commerce. And so your local officials, your local councilmen and all those councilwomen and all those city officials and all that, you want to make sure that they know that your nonprofit exists and is helping their jurisdiction improve. You want them to know that for so many reasons, grant opportunities, funding opportunities, just resources and connections and all of that. So the local chamber of commerce, your local chamber of commerce is very good about making those connections. The Activate Toolkit has letters and they're not AI generated, letters that are written so that you can pitch your local officials to introduce. There's a letter that shows you how to introduce your nonprofit and what to say and what type of support and all that great stuff. So make sure you check out the Activate Toolkit. I'll put a link down the bottom for the Activate Toolkit. It has over 30 tools in it that you definitely, board development tools, all that you need for your nonprofit. All right, the fourth entity, local entity that you need to be tapped into is your local library, your local public library, for more than enough reasons. But one of the main reasons is because most local libraries have access to databases at no cost. So they have subscriptions to for no cost. And one of the databases that they have, most libraries, can't say all, but most of your major city libraries, they have subscriptions to the Foundation Directory, the Foundation Center Directory, which has a listing of all of the foundations that exist in the U.S. So your community foundation is just for your jurisdiction, your local community, but the Foundation Center has all of the foundation grants. So tapping into your local library, you can get this subscription and access this subscription at no cost. And there's other ways you can access the foundation centers database as well, but the library has that for you if you need it. So that's the fourth. The fifth local entity that you need to be tapped into is your retailers, your local retailers, your local mom and pop stores, your local chains, your local fast foods. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of people making, a lot of nonprofits making, is that they are approaching these local entities, say your Chick-fil-A's and your Whole Foods and your grocery stores and Publix and all these places, and they're asking for sponsorships and sponsor dollars. They're asking these retailers to sponsor to them, and they don't know the difference between a sponsor and a community donation. They don't know the difference, and so the approach is off. The approach is off, and so you definitely need to know how to approach your local retailers. And one of the ways to approach them is just to introduce yourself as, this is what we do in the community. You can go to the manager, not asking for anything, but you can also say, how can we be a support to your business? How can we be a support to your local business? How can we make this a partnership? As well as go on their website and even ask the manager, if you all have any community initiatives, please let us know. We would like to apply or, take advantage of. A lot of the local banks have programs and community initiatives, especially for those nonprofits who are doing financial literacy types of things. And so you can tap into those resources, but you need to have build some communication and build a relationship with your local retailers. With sometimes, again, not always going to ask for stuff, just going to introduce yourself and making a connection. And you can also meet these local retailers at the local chamber of commerce, in the local chamber of commerce. All right, and the sixth, one of my favorite, the sixth local entity that you definitely need to tap into, and this is where it will just take your nonprofit to a whole nother level, is your local media. And that is including your local cable stations, news stations, your local radio, your local newspapers, your local news. You need to know the editors and the writers of your local newspapers. If your nonprofit is focused on health, whatever type of health issue, you need to know the person who writes for health and wellness. Your local news, the FCC requires that all news outlets give a special preference to the local community news and to nonprofits. And so you definitely have that advantage. If you're having any type of event, any type of 5K race, make sure you contact your local news. In the Activate Toolkit, just remember, in the Activate Toolkit, there's all kinds of pitch documents, how to pitch the local news. My clients over the years, I've gotten my clients on everything from in the Washington Post, the Washington Times, the LA Times, USA Today, Forbes, who else? Nightline. I mean, the list goes on and on. Radio One, the Steve Harvey Morning Show, BET, Jet Magazine, Ebony Magazine, Essence Magazine. The list goes on and on and on. But your local media is still alive and well. They have a lot of digital platforms that they're broadcasting out of. They're going digital. They've gone digital. So you will get the coverage you need. So the Activate Toolkit has those like how to do a press release. I give you a real sample of a press release that I did for a client that got major exposure. Press releases, PSA. There's a PSA sample in there. What else? How to pitch to be a featured guest on the local news. That's in there as well. So yes, so your local media as well. So your local government, the community foundation, the local library, your chamber of commerce, your local retailers, and your local media. You need to be tapped into all of them. All right. But before you tap into them, make sure you watch the video before you go public. These are the things you need to have in place. All right. So I hope this helps. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you save this video, share this video, refer back to this video, all that great stuff. And I'll see you on another video. All right. Be blessed. Bye-bye.